lesson, we will study about lesson sources, and in that archaeological sources and its types. Archaeological sources. What are archaeological sources? The archaeological sources can be the remains of the ancient people. This can be the jewelries, the bangles, the monuments or the buildings, then the coins, inscriptions. So these are all the example for archaeological sources. So where do we get these archaeological sources? Sometimes they are available on the surface of the earth and sometimes they are inside the earth. How do we get these archaeological sources? For various purposes, when the people dig the earth, they get these archaeological sources. And one fine example is Harappan civilization. The engineers, while laying the railway line, they were digging the earth and then they got this civilization which was inside the earth or inside the earth, and this is how during excavation they got these sources and later they analyzed it with the help of various tests. So excavation helps us in getting these archaeological sources. Types of archaeological sources. First we will study about the first type, inscriptions. So what are inscriptions? Inscriptions are engraved writing on stone, rock, metal, ivory and other things. See, if you write on the book or a piece of paper, it will not last for longer. So in olden days, our ancestors would use these materials like stone, rock, ivory and metal because they would last for a longer period. On these materials, they would write the information. So these are called inscription. And these inscriptions are more reliable because they have direct relationship with the events. For example, in any kingdom, during some special incidents, they would write those things on this stone, rock or metal. So special incidents could be the victory of the ruler against their enemies or some great achievements of the ruler, enlightenment. So all such achievements would be engraved on the stone, rock, metal or ivory. And these inscriptions, they give the information or they narrate the military achievements, then administration, society, economy. So this is how this inscription, they give the correct information about the ruler. Let me give few examples. Ashoka's inscriptions, most of the Indians, they know about Ashoka's inscription. Satyameva Jayate, which is on the lion capital. Even today, Indian government uses this. So this Satyameva Jayate was inscribed on this lion capital. So this is how Ashoka realized the importance of truth after Kalinga battle. Then the next example is Uttara Meruru inscription. So this Uttara Meruru inscription gives the information about the South Indian dynasty Cholas. So Cholas administration is inscribed, or they have written about Cholas administration, and that is Uttara Meruru inscription. Then the next one, in Kannada also we have inscription, Pulakeshi's Aihole inscription. And in Kannada we have the oldest inscription, I think most of you know about it, that is, which is that? Can you remember if you have studied in Kannada language? So that is yes, Halmidi inscription. So that is considered as the oldest inscription in Kannada. Yes. So this is how inscriptions, they give most reliable information about the events. Here they won't exaggerate anything. So they are considered as the most reliable sources. The next type of archaeological sources are coins. So most of you have seen coins, and even we are using coins. I'm not talking about that coins, but the coins issued by the various rulers who were ruling our country or different parts of the country. So how are the coins useful in knowing the history? So coins are helpful in understanding the geographical extent of the king's kingdom. So king's boundary is mentioned in some of the coins. The language spoken in that king's time, so even that is revealed by the coins. Then the metallurgy. Metallurgy is what type of metals they used in those days. It can be golden coins, silver coins, copper coins. So like that, coins tell about the metal technology of the ruler. Then the title possessed by the king. Then economic condition and other informations are told by the coins. For example, Samudragupta, a famous Gupta ruler, issued gold coins. In one of the coins issued by Samudragupta, we can see the ruler playing veena. So the ruler is Samudragupta, and this tells that Samudragupta loved or encouraged music during his rule. Then the other example is Nahapana was one ruler, and he issued a coin, and Gautami Putra Shatakarni, a Satavahana ruler, defeated Nahapana, and he erased the name of Nahapana on the coins, and he engraved his name on those coins. So why I am telling this? The coins tell about the battles and the victories of the rulers. So this is how coins tell about these things also. Then one more example. In Bengaluru, while excavating, the people got some Roman coins. So what does it tell? It tells that Roman traders had trading contact with the people of Bengaluru. So this is how the coins are very useful in knowing the history, achievement of the ruler, languages spoken, metal technology, religion, and other aspects are revealed by the coins. In the next slide, I have one or two pictures of coins which reveal some information about Samudragupta. Yes, the coins which you saw in the previous slide, they tell about the ruler Samudragupta, and they tell that he was a lover of music and he conducted Ashwamedha Yaga. So this is how coins tell about special achievements of the rulers. Then Roman coins, just now I mentioned that tells that Roman traders had trading contact with Bengaluru. Monuments. Monuments are the major sources of history, and these monuments can be the temples, forts, palaces, pillars built by our rulers who ruled our country. So what are the uses of these monuments? Monuments tell about science and technology or the story behind that monument, like Taj Mahal, and victory of the ruler, for example, Chittor's Vijay Stamba. So tells about the victory of Rana Kumbha. So this is how monuments tell about some information about the ruler and their science and technology. When we talk about science and technology, our rulers were not at all less in this. The example is Mehruliya iron pillar. Since 1600, this Mehruliya iron pillar is exposed to sun and rain, but it has not at all rusted. Whispering Gol Gumbaz tells about the technology, what type of technology they use. If you visit that, you will come to know. Brihadishwara temple doesn't cast its shadow on the earth. So what type of technology did they use? So this is how monuments tell about the science and technology behind those monuments or science and technology of the rulers. Then paintings and sculpture. Paintings, whenever we talk about paintings, Ajanta comes to our mind. Even today, it attracts many tourists. Then these monuments tell about economy, because these monuments, building of monuments created employment to lakhs of people. Ruins like bangles, pieces of terracotta, and other vessels which were used by our ancestors come under other ruins. And these other ruins tell about their culture, the society, economic as well as religious life also. One example is the seals, what we got from Harappan site, tells about the Harappa trade and commerce. So how to know about the timings of these ruins? There is one method called carbon 14 dating. The scientists, with the help of this carbon 14 dating, they tell about the life of the biological ruins like trees, birds, dead animals and other things. So this is how we studied about sources, in that two types of sources, and in this lesson we studied about archaeological sources and its types.